It's midday. Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to Citi Prime News, live from our studio at number 11, Dr. Martin Loop in Adabraka, Accra. My name is Adjuatin Kramad Domina. Coming up, opposition National Democratic Congress branch in the Ashanti region swings into action after police issues warrant of arrest for its organizer, whose recent comments have been deemed inflammatory. Also coming up, as election 2024 approaches, civil society organizations express worry over possible infiltration of money launderers and drug traffickers in the political space.
Persons engaged in serious and organized crime gets involved in political party finance. What that does to our election is that it robs the country of the integrity of the election.
Still ahead, suspected mentally challenged man kills 4 people, including 2 children, at Bandankwanta in the Savannah region, and later government poised to tackle corruption in state transport sector with introduction of tap-and-go policy. We have details of these stories and more coming up in the next 30 minutes. This bulletin is live on Facebook, on Citi 97.3 FM, also live on all our partner stations across the country. In the Western region, find us on our Dream 100.7 FM in Takwa, Beach 105.5 FM in Takrade, Sky Power 93.5 also in Takrade. In the Bono region, we're on Greener FM 95.9 in Sunyai. In the Ashanti region, this is Focus 94.3 FM in Kumasi. Also Orange 107.9 FM in Kumasi. In the Volta region, find us on Revival 99.3 FM and VLV Radio 95.7. In the Northern region, this is Radio Bimbila 91.9 FM. In the Upper East region, we are on Quality 88.7 FM. And in the Upper West region, we are on Tusong 97.3 FM and Jirapa 96.1 FM.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
We are grateful for your company this afternoon. We begin with politics, and the leadership of the National Democratic Congress (NDC) in the Ashanti region is currently locked up in a meeting to address alleged threats of electoral violence made by one of its members. The Meshia South constituency organizer of the party, Alhaji Mustafa Al-Hassan, has been declared wanted by the Ashanti Regional Police Command for his inflammatory remarks. In a viral video, Alhaji Mustafa Al-Hassan is seen challenging the new patriotic party and threatening violence if they attempt to rig the elections. He goes as far as to suggest engaging in violent confrontation, even if it means resorting to fatal measures to defend the victory of the NDC's flag bearer, former President John Dramani Mahama. Citi News has learned that the leadership of the NDC in the Ashanti region has responded to the call from the Crime Office of the Central Command and intends to present Alhaji Mustafa Al-Hassan on Tuesday for further investigation. Now let's go to the governing New Patriotic Party, because the party has responded to allegations put forth by the parliamentary candidate for the National Democratic Congress in Efutu, Dr. James Kofi Annan, regarding electoral misconduct. Among the allegations are the purported illegal registration of over 20,000 individuals from the other constituencies into the voter register, alongside accusations of inducement through monetary means for votes. Dr. Annan, during a media briefing in Winneba, further asserted that the NPP had engaged in local monetization strategies to influence voters, notably referencing the recent district assembly elections as evidence of a concerted effort to secure victory in the upcoming 2024 elections. Now, in a rebuttal to these allegations, Maxwell Ochiri, the deputy constituency secretary of the party in Efutu, says the comments were untrue.
I mean, politics of insult and trying to bring falsehood and things rather destroy the community or the society. Now, what he is saying, if you are instigating people to come out to do the wrong thing, I mean, at the end of the day, what do you intend to achieve? You are the flag bearer for NDC, and you are saying that the EC is in bed with the MPP parliamentary candidates here to register over 20,000 people. Now, when you saw that, what did you do? As an educated man, as you, Kofi Annan, when you saw it, what did you do? You see, I'm even disappointed. Truly, I'm so much disappointed for a whole parliamentary candidate of NDC seeing something wrong, and you sitting down and going on air to say that I saw that and he has done that and he has done that. I mean, who are you trying to deceive?
You heard Maxwell Ochre, he's Deputy Constituency Secretary of the New Patriotic Party in Efutu. We'll stay with the NPP because the Northern Regional branch of the party has urged the Northern Regional Serial Callers Association of the party to resume operations. The Northern Regional Serial Callers Association of the party embarked on a strike due to what it describes as poor welfare and remuneration. The group says services of members have been taken for granted by the party despite numerous complaints. Now, in an interview with Citi News, the Northern Regional Communications Director Shaibu Yusuf Danjuma says the issue is being dealt with.
Yesterday in the morning, management of the regional communications team also engaged the leadership and they agreed to go and call off the strike, which I think some of them still disagree. But we assured them that all the grievances raised would be duly addressed. For instance, they made reference to jobs. We said they should have been fair enough to tell the whole Ghana that members of the serial caller group, majority of them have gotten employment under the Nana Akufo-Addo's government. And all the assistance and support that they sought, General Secretary made a pledge that he will work with the regional chairman and the regional party in Northern Region here to address those grievances. So we are very much in charge, and we assure them that this is an election year. All of them should go back to work for the party. The grievances will be duly addressed.
Shaibu Yusuf Danjuma is the Northern Regional Communications Director of the New Patriotic Party. Let's stay on politics, this time on the 2024 elections. And several civil society organizations are raising alarm over the possible infiltration of money launderers, drug traffickers, and other criminals into the political space ahead of the upcoming general elections. According to them, the lack of scrutiny into the sources of campaign funding creates a safe space for illicit actors to exert influence over political actors. The Ghana Integrity Initiative in particular emphasizes the importance of implementing regulations to govern political campaign finance. They argue that such regulations are essential for combating corruption and ensuring the integrity of the electoral process.
Political campaigns in Ghana is rising. Between 2016 and 2020, it jumped from about a little over $300,000 to $693,000 to elect an MP in Ghana. That is a lot, considering the fact that if you take the MP salary of an average of about 20,000 Ghana cedi a month, it will take about 3 years, 4 months to be able to pay off that debt. By the 3.5 month time, the MP will be heading towards another election and will be contesting primaries around that time. So how are they able to fund the election? There is a CDD study that shows that there are incidences where persons engaged in serious and organized crime gets involved in political party financing. Now, if what that does to our election is that it robs the country of the integrity of the election, how free and fair the outcomes of the election is. And that is why most of the time the outcomes of elections are fiercely contested by the two leading political parties. And therefore, we need to start having the conversation to raise the questions as to who are the people who are financing elections, electoral campaigns in this country. The Electoral Commission must also take its mandate of receiving audited accounts from the political parties a bit more serious than it is doing now. And let us go beyond just the presentation of the account, but scrutinize where the funds that the political parties use are generated from. Fortunately, we have beneficial ownership disclosure clauses in our new companies code. Let us begin to interrogate who are the people who are getting new contracts in any new regime.
Michael Bwedi is fundraising manager at the Ghana Integrity Initiative. Away from political stories, now Labour expert Austin Game has urged the government to begin an immediate implementation of the 24-hour economy policy. His comments come ahead of the commemoration of the World Day of Social Justice on February 20, which focuses on pressing for improvements in employment, ensuring social inclusion and tackling poverty. In an interview with Citi News, Austin Game says the policy will help tackle unemployment and ensure equity on the labor front.
We need urgently a 24-hour economy and a guarantee from both the present government and, let's say, example, whether it is Alan Tremantin or it is John Mahama, if they will implement the 24-hour economy within 6 months upon coming into office. Because in the absence of a 24-hour economy, this country will not grow. We need it urgently. We have delayed too much. We are late in the day, and that will bring about some equity by way of employment opportunities for both men and women. So we need a 24-hour economy. To me, that's the solution. If people have access to money, if people are sure of employment, there will be equity. There will be social justice in the country. But in the absence of assurance that you have a job, a legitimate job that you can even switch from this company to this company because you are running a 24-hour economy. You can choose to work in a particular company in the morning and work in another company in the evening.
Well, Austin Game is also advocating for a clear-cut policy to provide predictability to the working class, especially in planning for their future.
We need clear-cut policy and guidance to help working people have predictability into their future. Right now, as we sit and speak with one another, our social security contribution, we are unsure of the level of investment that is open to it, to enable people to benefit fully than the way we are benefiting now. Our second tier, one of the clamoring for labor agitation this particular time is because of the inability of the employer to transfer the deductibles on the second tier to the fund manager. So clearly the working people are afraid of their future. They are afraid, they are scared of their future.
Austin Game is a labor consultant. Away from that, the Vice President, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, says corruption within state intercity and intracity transport companies will be a thing of the past with the introduction of the Tap and Go system. The Tap and Go system is a government initiative with support from private investors that seeks to digitalize the booking of seats on public transport and payment of fares as well. Speaking at the official launch of the Tap and Go system, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia revealed that the Metro Mass Transit Company has recorded an increase in revenue since the introduction of the system.
With the Tap and Go system, the problem of diversion of funds within state-owned intra- and intercity buses will also be a thing of the past, as the system will help check corruption by promoting transparency. It is important to note that before the Tap and Go system was implemented by Metro Mass Transit, the audit report showed that Metro Mass Transit was losing 50% of its revenue annually. So there was a chamber in operation, right? You get the fee, you take half and give half to government. But since the Tap and Go was implemented by Metro Mass Transit, you have seen that leakage has been plugged. And today, revenue that Metro Mass Transit is making on the intercity routes from 200 or so buses is more than the revenue it was making from 500 buses before.
Well, Dr. Bawumia further assured of steps to expand use to other forms of public transport, including commercial buses known as trotro, which in his view will reduce mistrust between drivers and maids, car owners and drivers, as well as eliminate the delays.
The Tap and Go is designed to ensure ease of use for both drivers and the general public through a virtual or physical card, preloaded with cash or through the Tap and Go app, which is downloaded on a phone. Serving as an inclusive platform for all types of public transport service in Ghana, the Tap and Go aims to revolutionize our public transport experience by helping curb some age-old problems associated with our public transport system. With Tap and Go, the common problem of boarding a bus or a trotro with a 50 cedi or a 100 cedi note and its associated discomfort of the driver's mate not having change and having to spend more time will soon be a thing of the past. With the Tap and Go system, the issue of drivers not trusting their mates to fully account for the day's sales will soon be a thing of the past.
Dr. Bamia is Vice President of the country. You're still listening to the Citi Prime News. Still ahead, Ministry of Roads and Highways says it aims to patch as many potholes across the country as possible before the next rainy season. We have more details if you stay with us.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
The Heritage Caravan 2024 is officially sold out. The buses are primed, participants are eager, and the itinerary is loaded. Now pack your bags and get on the Heritage Caravan. From the Greater Accra region to the Volta region to the Eastern region to the Bono region, Ahafo region, Bono East region to the Upper East region to the Northern region to the Savannah region to the Northeast region to the Ashanti region to the Western North region to the Western region, the Central region, and back to the Greater Accra region. The Heritage Caravan will last for 8 days from Sunday the 3rd of March to Sunday the 10th of March 2024. An expedition full of excitement, education, information, wonderful memories, and great bonding moments awaits you. This is a journey of a lifetime to discover Ghana. Follow all Citi TV and 97.3 Citi FM social media handles for updates with the hashtag Heritage Caravan 2024. The Heritage Caravan 2024 is powered by Citi TV in partnership with the Ghana Tourism Authority with support from Citi FM, and it's proudly sponsored by the National Lottery Authority, Gold PLC, Hollard Insurance, GB Foods, and Omni Basic Bank. Terms and conditions apply.
Citi TV is live on DSTV, GoTV, and HD+. On DSTV, find us on channel 363. On GoTV, we're on channel 117, and on HD+, get us on channel 108. On a digital TV, run a new search, but take note that without an antenna, you cannot access Citi TV. Citi TV can be accessed on any free-to-air digital box like the GoTV and HD+ boxes. Citi TV, it's your world.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
You're welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. Now, the Media Foundation for West Africa is urging government to improve its information dissemination framework to foster a transparent environment that promotes access to timely and accurate information about the functions and activities of government bodies. Highlighting the importance of transparency and factual information, the Media Foundation for West Africa says these elements are essential in the fight against misinformation and disinformation. Programs Officer at the MFWA, Krobia Sante, has been speaking to Citi News.
Anywhere we don't have accurate information, people are not rightly informed, and therefore the right decisions cannot be made. In any given democracy, you need the buy-in of the public, you need the support of the citizens. citizenry. Making these choices means that they will need access to accurate information. People need to know what policies there are, what are the issues, what are the foregoing issues, what are the current data, statistics, information, so that we can know that has the government done well in health, has the government done well in agri, has the government done well in economy, in energy and all that. The danger false information, what you call fake news, misinformation, disinformation poses is that when it pollutes this conversation, when people are not able to get the accurate information and are misled, then their decision making is also flawed on that ground, and that can pose immense threat in terms of peace, security and stability, because people are agitated based on one false narrative that they received about the process and say they've stolen the verdict or stuff like that. And so it poses a lot of challenges for us as a country and as a people going into the election.
Krobia Sante is a programs officer at the Media Foundation for West Africa. Now, to some rather unfortunate story, a man suspected to be mentally challenged has killed 4 people in Bandankwante community along the Bole Bamboy Highway in the Savannah region. According to reports, the incident began when the suspect, known as Dagana, who had come to a nearby Galamsey site to unload items, asked to use the restroom at a compound house. When denied entry, he became enraged and stabbed one of the occupants before fleeing to a nearby compound. There he forcibly entered a room where 2 children aged 10 and 12 were sleeping and allegedly stabbed them. Their grandmother, who was frail and unable to move easily, also fell victim to his violence. Continuing this rampage, Dagana moved to another household and stabbed another person who was resting in the compound's foyer. When confronted by horrified residents, he locked himself in a room, threatening anyone who approached. The situation led residents to alert the Bole Police Command for assistance, and upon arrival, 2 police officers were also violently attacked by the said man, forcing them to respond with gunfire, resulting in his alleged death. By the end of this tragic incident, 4 victims had lost their lives, while the elderly woman was critically injured and is currently receiving treatment at Carpenter Hospital in Bole. Meanwhile, the deceased has been laid to rest in line with Islamic customs. Away from that, the Ministry of Roads and Highways says it aims to patch as many potholes across the country as possible before the next rainy season. Commuters in Ghana often complain of the stress they endure due to the negative impact of potholes, while vehicle owners say the situation damages their vehicles. The government, in response, has released 150 million Ghana cedis to engage and pay contractors for undertaking pothole patching across the country. Public Relations Officer of the Ministry, Nasser Ahmediyati, tells Citi News that more resources will be released in the next quarter upon assessment of the current project.
We plan routine maintenance during the dry season. And so now that we have the dry season, the whole idea is to move in and cover across the country as much as we can stretches that have gone bad due to the rain, patch all before the next rainy season kicks in. Part of our first quarter relief that is devoted to pothole this exercise. So, and when we receive the second quarter relief, we'll assess this first phase of the exercise and see what is left. If we need to put in more money, I'm sure the management of the ministry will take that decision and will communicate it. The most important thing is that we've identified that some parts of our trunk roads have developed potholes. Citizens have spoken about it, and the ministry is putting in some intervention to address this challenge.
Well, one asks for a list of priority roads for the patching of the potholes. The Public Relations Officer of the Ministry of Roads and Highways, Nasser Ahmediyati, had this to say.
Perhaps what we'll do is to keep a data, because this is the ministry that we keep accurate records. So we'll keep a data. This exercise is being undertaken by the Ghana Highways Authority and the urban roads, because we are looking at our trunk roads and our inner city roads, so urban roads and highways authority. Regional maintenance directors from these 2 agencies are under instructions to identify, first and foremost, areas within the region and then focus on those areas. So as we identify, we move in and we work on it. And so as I speak to you now, I cannot say these are the areas that we are going to work on.
You heard Nasser Ahmed Yate, he's public relations officer of the Ministry of Roads. Moving on now, the two prison officers who were with a Chinese prisoner before his escape have been granted bail by the Ghana Police Service. Authorities at the Nsawam prison issued a wanted person notice for the Chinese inmate who escaped while receiving medical care at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital in Accra. The Ghana Prison Service last week handed over the two officers to the police for further investigations into the circumstances leading to the escape of the Chinese from the hospital. Wang Zhao, who was arrested at Tema for stealing and was reportedly serving a 1-year jail term at the Nsawam Maximum Security Prison. Authorities say he feigned a dental health problem and was taken to the hospital last Wednesday, where he escaped from. While speaking to Citi News on the development, the Chief Public Relations Officer of the Ghana Prison Service, Superintendent Abdul Latif Adamu, says all other security agencies have been brought on board to ensure the suspect is rearrested.
A search is still being conducted. The prison service is collaborating strongly with the police and the immigration, and we've received a lot of intelligence information that we are working on. So we are very optimistic that with the information we have received, we will have some good news in some few days to come. And pertaining to the escorting officers who took the inmates to the hospital and the inmates succeeded in escaping from them, they were handed over to the police. And as we speak today, they've been granted bail and have been told to report on daily basis at the Cantonment District Police Station to assist with the investigation.
That was Chief Public Relations Officer of the Ghana Prison Service, Superintendent Abdul Latif Adamu. Moving on now, the Director General of the Social Security and National Insurance Trust, SNIT, John Ofori-Tinkrine, says less than 1% of the over 6 million workers in the informal sector are covered by trust. This is significantly low compared to the 60% of over 3 million workers in the formal sector signed onto the scheme. Mr. Ofori-Tinkrine, however, says SNIT has introduced the self-employed enrollment drive to enroll more informal sector workers.
When we started last year, we had only had about 14,000 people enrolled on the SNIT the scheme as self-employed persons. Today, we have about 71,000 people enrolled on the SNIT scheme as self-employed persons. The statistic I gave to the committee was that if I look at the February payroll, which we've just paid, out of some 245,000 pensioners that we paid, only 630, constituting 0.3%, 630, not even 1,000, are people who have retired as self-employed persons. Now, if you look at this and you just oppose that against the total worker population of about 6 odd million, you see that we have a long way to go. And this is the narrative that we want to.
You heard Director General of SNIT, John Ofori-Tinkrine. Now, the Ghana Water Company Limited has restored water supply to the T.I. Ahmadiyya Senior High School at Kumasi in the Ashanti region. Water supply was cut to the school and its environs due to a power challenge at one of the plants, affecting supply. Students were thus forced to walk long distances in search of water. Citi News sources at the Ghana Water Company Limited indicate that the situation has now been rectified. And that will be all for today's edition of the Citi Prime News, which has been live from our studio in Adabraka, Accra. The news has also been live on all our partner stations across the country. In the Western region, we were on Adrimpa 100.7 FM in Takwa, Beach 105.5 FM in Takrady, also Sky Power 93.5 FM in Takrady. Thank you so much for staying with us. Do have a good afternoon. My name is Ajwa Tinkrama Domina.
City News. We speak first. Reach our hotline on 0302 224959 and get interactive on Facebook, Citi 97.3 FM, and on Twitter at Citi 973.